Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now, here's a guy who gets batted around by the internet trolls on the regular. Pissed! Rob Sisterino, hello everybody, and welcome back to Rob Has a Podcast after another eviction night here, and it was not a round trip night. No Ocho Rios for Davon here on the latest Big Brother eviction. She is gone. Bridget stays. House guests are spinning round and round, and another week of Big Brother is in the books, and we'll talk about it all here tonight on the podcast. A special guest with us here tonight. He is the host of the Big Brother or reality TV happy hour, not pee-pee hour. It is Jordan Parhar. Jordan, how are you?
Rob, I'm great. Thanks for having me on. I'm just so excited to be talking about the greatest season of Big Brother since Big Brother 9. It is such an honor to be back on RHAP, and oh man, there's just so many great, fun things to talk about tonight's episode.
Lot to get into. We have a new friend for Paul that we got to meet his parents, and much, much more. Here is also with us. It's Thursday night, here to talk about everything going on during the week on the live feeds. Brent Walgamot. Brent, how are you?
Rob, I'm doing good. You know, Jordan, I sense a little bit of sarcasm. I'm not quite sure, though. I'm not quite sure.
Wait, Brent, me sarcastic? Come
right?
on. I'm Canadian. I would never be sarcastic.
Silly talk.
You should know better.
All right. Well, a lot to talk through. We're going to take your questions, hashtag RHAP, and then also on our YouTube channel at robhasawebsite.com/YouTube. And I guess a little bit of a shock, not so much in how the vote ultimately went down, but I think that there was a lot of confidence and perhaps overconfidence in the internet community that maybe Davon had that ticket. Last night, both Alex Kidwell said that it was a 99% chance that she was coming back in. He was really sold on Davon, had the round-trip ticket. Kurt was at least 30%. I thought it was 50-50. She goes home. Jordan, for you, total blindside that Davon did not have the round-trip ticket?
Yeah, I was trying to explain as I was watching this episode over dinner with my dad, and I was trying to explain to him what the round-trip ticket was, and I just said, Dad, don't worry about it, it's fine. Basically, it's a twist where Davon is going to come back in the house and everything's going to be fine. And he was like, really, you think? And I said, yeah, it's going to work. And then he said, but like logically, there's a 1 in 12 shot that she has. And I said, no. All the signs are saying she's got it. We're fine. So, yeah.
Literally, a sign in the house said she had it, we thought.
Yes, we did. And, of course, just with how things have been going this season, we get the rug pulled from under us once again. And, yeah, I'm not too pleased.
Yes, it was a one-way ticket, much like Jordan Parhar had at the reality rally this past year.
Yeah, exactly.
Brent, what's your reaction to Davon ultimately not just being voted out blindsided, but also not returning to the house?
I was blindsided. 6 minutes into the show, and we were getting so many confessionals and so many things from Julie Chen and the narrator about the round-trip ticket. I thought for sure that she would have it. Truth be told, Rob, I think that if Big Brother could go back and do this again, I think that putting it in number 8 with the, Ocho Rios as the Dream Destination poster there, I think that's what they should have done, and they probably would like to do, like if they could do it again. But I think that they probably just put it in some random envelope where we're giving them way too much credit.
Yeah, I think that probably somebody from production, after all of the talk on Survivor Reddit and on Twitter about how there's a sign in the house, Ocho Rios, that's the lucky destination. And then people were like, oh, yeah, that's right. That would have been smart if we would have done that. We would have had a clue. No, it's totally random. Chaos theory rules in the Big Brother 18 house, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say at this point, man. Like this,
It's kind of like in par with the rest of the things that have happened this season, right? I mean, we should have expected it, right?
We should, Brent. We should have. But you know what?
Right.
Here's the thing: is I want to try to be positive in some way, because on the happy hour lately we've just been negative like all the time, because it has been quite dire in the house. No, I'm just saying everyone, and it's true because things have been terrible.
I have been, yeah.
What I will say is, now that this has happened, I feel like there's nowhere to go but up. I really don't think it can get. We're at a point now where, okay, Devon is out. Somebody's got to make a move against somebody else here that's got to create some sort of drama, because this whole sort of weird, the house, that dynamic, these guys are going to fracture sooner rather than later, I think. At least I think so. I hope so. I don't know, Brent.
Given that it was a 6-2 vote and that they purposely did it that way because everyone thought that tonight was going to be a double eviction. That's what a lot of the people who just watched the show may not understand, but on the feeds, they were absolutely positive. Jury starts tonight. They usually start jury with 2 people. That way the other person isn't alone. They were absolutely convinced that tonight was going to be a double eviction, and so they purposely left out Michelle and Zakiya. They left them out of the loop so that they would be vulnerable and big ripe targets during the double eviction. That didn't come to pass. So now Michelle and Zakiya have a whole week to think about the fact that everybody in the house lied to them, and that's going to be a very interesting position for them to be in.
All right, and we will hopefully by the end of this podcast have some knowledge about who the new HOH is, and then we'll talk about that at the end of the show. Then on Friday morning, I will be live with Alex, perhaps even Taryn, to talk about what went on overnight with the new HOH and who the likely nominees will be. But let's just sort of look at the big picture with all of this. And I think that I was trying to tweet this, but I didn't know how to crystallize these thoughts in 140 characters, as is often the case. But this season, I believe, at its apex, I remember when we were back in Chicago, and we were talking about, like, okay, Big Brother 18 got off to a slow start, but I think it's about to get good, because we had where Frank was really running the show. Now all these people are coming out with their pitchforks. They're coming after Frank. And we had sort of this triangle, the Frank, Devon, Tiffany. Even going back around, like I remember watching live feeds on the right around the weekend of 4th of July, where it was like, oh, there's the Fatal Five, but Tiffany is trying to go after Frank. And Frank wants to take out Tiffany and Devon. And Devon and Tiffany don't necessarily trust each other. And there was this crazy triangle. And then maybe at its apex, Tiffany was going to go after Frank, and she was coming after Devon. And there was all this. Tiffany wants Devon out. Devon wants Frank out. Frank, Devon, Tiffany. All 3 of them are gone now, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think we, looking back on Big Brother history, I think we should be thankful that so many of these really good seasons have turned out that way, because really there are so many different permutations every single season that Big Brother happens. I mean, all because, you have the HOH and the veto and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, basically every single thing that could have happened to make this season less interesting and boring and dull and terrible has happened, and now we're stuck in this situation where Brent wants to poke his eyes out every time he watches the live feeds, right, Brent?
Right, and it's so not Big Brother. Come on, we've been watching the show for 18 seasons. Things never work out like this. So that stupid thing that Paulie did this week, putting himself on the block so he could be a quote-unquote good competitor to win the veto and take himself off and get Devon up on the block. I mean, that never happens by rote in the Big Brother house. Something always goes wrong. So it's sort of amazing that all 3 of these big, ripe, huge, good personality people.
I'm going to stop right there.
Okay.
Because if I'm being honest, I know that my plan was going to work. You're being jealous.
Stop. Yeah.
You can't handle it. My plan was going to work, and I'm still here, and I'm going to be the HOH again soon, and I'm going to win. How about that?
Well, I mean, I give him credit for playing ballsy. So let's give Paulie credit for playing like he's been playing lights out the last 4 weeks. I don't think anybody really saw it coming. I didn't see it coming in the beginning. I didn't think he was this good of a player, but he certainly has proved me wrong. And it's just amazing to me that everything he touches turns to gold. I'm still waiting to see if the wheels fall off, though. We'll see.
All right. Well, then let's start to take a look at Avon, where she was able to remain calm all week long, and we really kept waiting for her to sort of flip out that she was going to really make a case to save herself. She really was more panicky the week that she was up on the block recently that she stayed in the house than this week. I don't know if it was because Paul really talked her into that she was going to be fine, or if enough people were lying to her to keep her safe, or she consciously tried to just talk herself into that she was staying, but she is gone, so now it's time to write the eulogy for Davon 2.0. Jordan, what is the headline of that story?
Man, I think that I think just Davon didn't learn, I think, enough from her first go-round, and I think that's a big thing with really all of these returning players, because we've talked about this. I mean, we've heard the LFC talk about this a lot this season on the podcast, is that they're making the same mistakes over and over again. Davon, too aggressive, and she needs just to chill a little bit more. I think Alex put it really well the other night when he said that Davon needed to be a little bit more like James, and James needed to be a little bit more like Davon in order to make their games both better. So I love Davon to death. I think she is great TV. She's amazing in the diary room. She's a great person, and as a big fan
of her. Great person. Wow.
Yeah, I think Davon's a really great person. I think she's really kind-hearted. She's a sweet, nice lady. I've got nothing but kind words to say about
a neat lady, I think, probably.
Okay, no, well, fair. You know what? That's how I feel about her. I like her. Maybe I'm biased just because Davon has said nice things about me on the feeds, but still.
Wait, Davon watched Big Brother Canada 3?
Yeah, Davon is a BB Can fan, Rob. So I've chatted to Davon last year, and so not like extensively or anything, but still, yeah. So I mean, Davon.
Brett, did you know this?
Yeah. She's talked about it before. I will say that as far as I think it goes a little bit deeper than what Jordan said. With all due respect, I do think that Davon has somehow she lacks displaying empathy to people. Like there's just an element to her that doesn't allow her to act like she cares. Like if you notice, like right when she got placed as the replacement nominee, everybody she was hugging, she was making that face like when she was hugging them, like she's just not a very touchy-feely kind of person, and she's not good at kissing ass. And as Alex correctly pointed out on the live feed show, 95% of Big Brother is kissing ass. Nicole, for better or for worse, is good at kissing ass and telling people what they want to hear. And Davon, as she said, does not do that, and that's why she's juror number 1.
Yeah. Did Davon want to be on the jury? I feel like that we've had with different people in the past in Big Brother, like, hey, I have a small kid at home. If I'm going to get voted out, I'd rather be voted out right before the jury than put me on the jury this whole time. Or was it just, hey, that's a bigger payday to be on the jury? Brent, did this ever come up?
Yeah, it's come up. Yeah, I mean, she wasn't as vocal about it as, say, like Bronte, but she was talking, I remember last week, I think it was, when they were talking about the round-trip ticket, how she was so, and then the fact that the battle back person came back in, she was so over this pre-jury, BS. She wanted jury to start. She wants to be able to get there. I think for her, look, she's not a winner. She's not going to be the winner of this season, but this is a milestone for her. I mean, she was voted out second on her season, let's be honest, and she made it to the jury. Whatever, jury keeps getting bigger, but she made it. That's the point. So she's going to be there on finale night, putting a key in the box for the winner of Big Brother. I think she's going to be able to call that a victory in her book. It's not in our book, but it is for her.
So Jordan, first time she goes out there, she goes out second week. Then first person on the jury. Third time charm for Davon? Your girl, Davon?
I wish, but no, I don't think Davon can win this game, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, but Davon's just not built for Big Brother, and that's okay. Like a lot of people are not built for Big Brother, including yours truly. I mean, it's a tough game to play, no matter how big of a fan you are.
But in terms of Davon, did she warrant enough to potentially be included? Did she do enough here on the second time out to possibly be talked about as somebody for the third time out?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm with Brent. I mean, I think we've seen Davon's story arc. I think that this is, like I said, I mean, she didn't learn from her first time. I really don't think we're going to see anything different from Davon 3.0.
I mean, I don't think she gave us much besides a lot of eye rolling and shade in the diary room. I mean, she really didn't play like I wanted her to play, and I had a particular problem with how she acted with Paul insofar as getting placed on the block, because I remember last season, and I know I hated him, but Austin was so good when his name was being talked about as being put on the block. He got whoever was to make sure that they didn't put him on the block, because he stayed up there and he begged them and he cried and he talked to them. Devon, she wasn't happy about it, but she went up to Paul and was like, well, why can't you do this and why can't you do that? What she needed to say was, Paul, please don't put me on the block. I beg you. I have a little girl. Please don't do this to me. Please, 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 please. I think he actually would have bought it.
There's an order, and
see, that's where. Yes.
What order? What
exactly.
order?
It was like, she would ask him, well, why can't you put Corey up? Well, because I can't put up people with blonde hair. I mean, like everything that she suggested, he had an answer for. That should have been her tip-off that he was up to something. And by the way, I thought it was bad form for him to lie to her on the way out when in the goodbye message, because one of two things is going to happen. Either she's going home, fine, or she's going to be on the jury. Everyone assumed she was going to be on the jury. She's going to find out that he was plotting against her. I mean, that's not going to wear long that's not going to wear for long. So I don't know what he's doing there, lying to her in the goodbye message, saying,
Jordan,
I don't know what went wrong.
Jordan, let me ask you about that. That Paul has said a lot of times this season about how he is not a super fan of the show, unlike me, who's seen 7 seasons of the show. But Paul has said that, I want to be in there. I want to be following my instincts, that me and my friend Seth, we don't need to watch the show. We have friendship. But he didn't watch the show, and he said, I don't know what happened. What could have been? I have no idea. This didn't come from me. So somebody screwed us over, Day. Pissed. Is that his inexperience with Big Brother, thinking that this is going to work?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe a mixture of a few things, but certainly, yeah. I mean, if you're familiar with Big Brother, there's a few things, right? I mean, Paul lying, he should have just come clean to Davon this week. I really think he should have. I think Dave would have really respected that a lot more than what this weird little dance he was doing. I don't get why he just didn't say, hey, look, you're a huge threat in this game. I'm sorry. Everybody wants you out. And I have to go with what they're doing. That's what they want me to do, and I'm going to go with it. And I'm sorry, but there you go. You're going home. I think she would have respected that a lot more. So.
I don't have a problem with him not telling her within the game. I have a problem with him not telling her in the goodbye message. Within the game, I think there was, vulnerabilities in Paul's game where Devon could have correctly exposed them to the rest of the house if he told her straight up, hey, Mama, you're going home. So I kind of agree with him. It sucks, but I'm glad he didn't, for his game, tell her that she was going home right away.
Now, Jordan, once upon a time, you were the first person to be evicted to go to jury in Big Brother Canada 3. I'm interested to know from you, when they play the goodbye messages, how much do they get stamped in your brain, or do those things, like if Paul is lying in the goodbye message, do you really just remember the emotion in terms of oh, that person was nice to me, that person was mean to me, I don't exactly remember what they said, or do those things sort of just get tattooed in your brain while you're sitting there on the stage?
Well, for me it was actually a little different because they didn't play my goodbye messages. I didn't get Yeah, as I got voted out, people started telling me what the goodbye messages were, and I think because my eviction was such a hilarious thing for the people in the house, everybody went around and said what their goodbye message was for me. So eventually I got it secondhand. But to be honest, I mean, there was.
I don't understand what happened. The people that you got blindsided. Sorry to revisit that. But the people in the house that voted for you, the people that voted for you to stay, told you what they were going to say.
No, yeah. So the people that voted me out, they thought it was really funny because they went around. Everybody. This is a really long conversation. It's just irrelevant. But basically, yeah, everyone ran around the house and said, "Oh, what did you say to JP in your goodbye message?" Then they told everyone else. They thought it was funny, and then as people came to the jury, they started telling me it. I really don't think, had I heard it, I might have held a grudge if it was against something that I didn't like. But to be honest, I really don't think that if you're first in the jury, it's day 50-something. Davon's going to be in there till around day 100, so I really don't think she's going to be holding on to that stuff for too long. I think I really don't think so. There's other stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Brent, what do you think?
Well, she can hold a grudge. I know that. So, he is directly responsible for her eviction. I think he would have been better off owning it. But again, as Rob says, this is him showing his inexperience. He's not, a fan favorite, a super fan of Big Brother. He's learning on the fly here. So, he might want to have that one back.
Yeah, I wonder if it will be less than what he said in his goodbye message, or as people come into the house, that Davon will have a lot of questions about, was Paul in on that? Like, oh yeah, totally. He was with all those guys the whole time. And so maybe that might be where it all unfolds. Speaking of people who were really bad liars tonight, let's talk about James and a couple of segments that he was in. We got to see on the show tonight where Davon walks in the room. Everybody is like deer in the headlights. It was Paul, Corey, James, and Paul, Corey, James, and Nicole talking about and who's going to be on the block in the double eviction. And I'm not even sure if that was really what they were talking about or that was just a fake story they went with. And Davon is like, okay, that's a good question. Yeah, who are you all going to put up on the block? And James is like, yeah, B and V. B and V. Okay. B meaning Bridget, who we're voting out on Thursday? James like, yeah, what are we thinking? That's so stupid. Why would we say that? No, we totally blew that. Brent, did that turn out to be a bigger deal in the house, or was it depicted that way on the show?
No, I mean, it was accurately told to the American public. I think James is a little bit of a doofus in the house, and so he was able to effectively cover and say, "Oh yeah, like I know I don't know why I'm thinking that." But that again, that should have been a tip-off to Davon that something was afoot. If not that, then the conversation that she had with James and Natalie in the bedroom when she was talking to them about, hey, if this gets to 4-4, and as I said on Twitter, Rob, this is why I'm a bad Big Brother player. I mean, I'd be fun, but I'd be bad. Because if I was James, screw you, Paul. I'm going to vote to keep Davon, and I'm going to make you do the dirty work and make him break the tie. It would be more fun for the fans, and it would be more fun for me playing the game. But James is a little bit of a chicken, and he, I know Terrence said on Twitter that it's correct for him to vote out Davon here, but I didn't like it. I don't know. I didn't like it.
So, Jordan, then how about when Davon calls James out and says, James, I got to say that that was a little bit not great. I didn't really appreciate that when you said that it was going to be B and V. So I got your back, right? You got my back, right? You're going to vote for me to stay? And James was sort of like, well. He said, really, James? Really?
Well, I mean, I think Frank said it all, right? When they had that house meeting when he was still in the house, and he said, "Thank you, Paulie, for having a backbone, because some people in this game don't really have one." James doesn't really have a backbone, unfortunately. So good on Davon for calling him out. I mean, I don't understand why he can't just be straight up with her. The lie was just terrible. I mean, that was reminiscent of Chef Joe going up to Dan in BB18 when the lights were off in the bedroom saying, "Hey, we got to get rid of Dan this week." It was just, James, terrible, terrible, terrible.
Yeah, James is just really any question like, yeah.
Well, Rob, play the what the hell thing.
Yeah. James, are you voting me out this week? It's
what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, don't you have to go all in if you're going to be lying to that person? If you're going to stab them in the back, I mean, don't you have to keep lying to their face and just be like, whoa.
Yeah, that's the sign of a good Big Brother player when you can do that the entire week. Or you pick one or the other. You don't do this weird little I don't know. It's just weak.
I will say that good on them for being able to keep this a secret. As you said, like a good Big Brother player can keep it a secret. Paul and Paulie were talking on the feeds. I think it was yesterday or today that they're amazed they were able to keep it a secret this long from Michelle and Zakia, who, by the way, were totally in the dark tonight. Did not know that Davon was going to go home.
Yeah. So talking about Big Mish, that she was not sad Mish tonight, at least before the vote. Big Mish wearing a very heavy jacket into the diary room tonight. I compared it to, on Twitter, the jacket that Walter White is wearing in the flash forward in Breaking Bad, and there she is. She's breaking sad Mish, I think.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's August. Rob, how hot is it right now in Southern California?
The only thing I could think of is that maybe Mish was self-conscious about it. You know, she very much is always concerned with what she looks like, and you know that she's often sad Mish about thinking talking about her appearance, which I don't think she has any reason to be sad about it, but she does seem like very wrapped up in that. I wonder if she didn't like the clothes that she was competing in, didn't want to wear them on the live show, Brent.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was okay, but I was more astounded by her behavior when she threw that apple at Paul and was crying about it. Like, what was that about? Like, it was just crazy town talk. Like, Michelle, I'm trying to like you, but what are you doing to me? Seriously.
Yeah. Jordan, now that she has talked about you before, and potentially we've talked about this maybe showmance, are you worried about her violent temper?
I'm worried, very worried and concerned for Ian, Rob, but you know, Ian Terry is a big boy. He's got $500,000 in his bank account. He can get people to help take care of him in case Michelle gets too violent. So no, I'm leaving that for Ian. And I wish them
You're
nothing
out.
but the best.
You pulled yourself out.
Yeah, I decided to throw this competition. That's what I do best. So yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay. And then, just watch your kidneys. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Brent, were you surprised that again, not going into the live feed spoilers yet, but so much going on still during the week between Paulie and Zakiya? Were you surprised that that didn't make the cut of the show for Thursday night?
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. It's definitely an ongoing subplot to the show, especially, I mean, you guys, like, think about it. Paulie was the main instrument in getting this plot of Devon up on the block and out of the house going, and Zakiya, the lady who is literally sleeping with him every night and sometimes doing more, she is totally in the dark about it. And she was saying earlier today on the feeds that she was like, I don't think Paulie would do that to us. I'm like, girl, yes, he would, and the reason he would do that is because he's playing the game and you're not. He's playing for $500,000 and you're playing for a boyfriend.
Hey, if I'm being honest, Brent, I gotta do what I gotta do, okay? I'm dealing with women, not with girls in the house. I'm sorry, not sorry, hashtag.
Well, I'm interested to see where she goes from here. I mean, he's going to have a conversation with her about, you know, why didn't I tell you that Devon was going to be evicted? I'm sure she's going to say, if you had told me, I would have gone along with it. And that's not really the truth. She really wanted Devon to stay, but they're going to have it out. So, like, at this point, Zakiya should be getting the signal, girl, he's just not that into you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jordan, we got to see a Big Brother package about Paul and his life outside the house. Sight unseen. If Paul goes out of the house this Thursday night in the double eviction, is he guaranteed an all-star spot at this point, Jordan?
Well, I mean, considering that Big Brother has brought back, like, I don't know, like less than 15 people in the last 10 years, I don't think we can say anybody's guaranteed for an all-star slot, but yeah, I think of all the newbies on this season, I think Paul probably has, at least right now, his stock is the highest in terms of returning.
Look, if anybody, if they have to bring back somebody from season 18, it's Paul. But I think like we're like, this is the lowest of the low here. Like, there's not very much to choose from, so you're gonna pick like the one glazed donut in the box. Like, it's not very exciting.
Now, what's interesting to me is that, Brett, if you're casting the all-star season, and hypothetically, if we're going to run a Big Brother 19 in the fall, maybe does that set up this Big Brother Heroes versus Villains in season 20? Do Zach Rance and your boy, or my boy, I want to be sure to specify here, do Zach Rance and my boy occupy the same spot? Can they coexist in a casting archetype?
I think they can because they look so dissimilar from each other, although they certainly behave similar. I don't know. I think that I don't know. I'm not sure. I would like to think that Paul would probably get the nod over Zach, but I don't know. I mean, Zach hasn't really been doing much lately. I don't know if he's that big of a deal anymore.
Jordan, is CBS out on Zach? Is it possible that they might not even include him?
Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, well, we did a podcast at the beginning of the season, Brent, Taryn, Alex, and I, on who we thought could be coming back this season if it was a full All-Star season. And Zach was pretty low in the ranks compared to what he would have been a year ago. But especially now with Paul, the you might say the better half of PP. I think I don't think there's no reason to have Zach Rance. We have him again. He's Paul. He has a beard. He's more recent. He's going to be very popular, and he hasn't really pissed off CBS. So so I think Paul's in and Zach's out, unfortunately.
Interesting. All right, we're gonna get into your questions as well here. We'll bring them up. #RHAP. Also, I said earlier this week we got a new Big Brother at robhasawebsite.com email address if you have more long-form questions. If you watch the show on the West Coast and haven't seen Big Brother yet at the time we do these after the East Coast version, and so I do have a question. Unfortunately, that many of the questions that we get at the new Big Brother at robhasawebsite.com email address are complaints about the show. Here's one. This comes from one of our listeners. He says his name is Alex, but I don't believe it's Kidwell. He writes in to say, you guys are the biggest hypocrites. Dan treats Danielle Murphy like crap. That's not what he said. For no reason before she got voted out, but Paulie treats Zakiya. You all dislike Paulie, the only one playing the game hard, but when someone else wants to win the game who's not playing the game, and then think Derek is boring for playing low-key game for $500,000. You guys think Ian is a genius when he was snowed by Dan until Daniel told him about their final two and the grandfather's necklace. He would be Shane on the double eviction, not know what happened.
Is there a question in this complaint somewhere? Look, I've never said Ian was a genius. All right, I think he's a worthy winner of Big Brother 14.
Brent, we're not done.
Sorry. Well,
you guys think Vanessa is genius, but she lastest as long as Victoria. You guys complain about Steve Moss doing nothing in the game except win $500,000, and I can give you more examples.
I see why you wanted to read the rest of it. Yes.
If you need another person who can give real live feed correspondent, please contact me instead of your bias because you don't personally like the person.
All right, well, I have owned my biases throughout the season. I will gladly tell anybody that I don't really care for Paul and Paulie right now. By the way, did you see in tonight's episode that Julie Chen could not bring herself to say PP? She had to say it like Paul and Paulie, the PP. Like she had to take a pause. It was beneath her to say that. It was so great.
Julie did not want to go down to Uncle Austin's trailer. She was like, this is on the teleprompter. It's like, I can't.
Why don't they just call it like P and P? Like P and P, P and P. That would be okay, but instead they've got to make it PP, which makes all of us just totally uncomfortable.
Yeah.
PP always pulls through.
Always pulls through. All right, let's get into the questions. All right, here we go. Let's start with Taylor Martina, who says, so with the double eviction, it means that 5 people have a chance to return, not 4. Okay, so that's because the round trip lasts until what? I thought they said August 8th. Is that right, Brent?
I mean, it lasts until next Thursday because it's going to be a double eviction. So, both of the people in the double eviction who are evicted next week, they will get a chance to open their tickets to see if they have a round trip ticket.
Yeah.
But after that, it's over.
And then it's over. So still 4. Okay.
Right.
Let's keep going. This is from Jacqueline, who says, when was the last time they had that much time for questions after an eviction? Did they just have not that much to show on the show, Brent?
I mean, they could have shown more. They could have shown the Zakiya and Polly continuing fallout. They could have shown anything else. They could have shown a little more Devon.
I think we got it. I think we got it. We didn't need to show anymore.
Exactly.
We're good.
I was good with the editing tonight. I mean, it's a summary. It's not an all-out transcript.
Yeah. Jordan, why did Paul have such an old friend? It seemed like some sort of like a Doc Brown, Marty McFly relationship between Paul and his 40-something friend.
Well, I mean, I think that this supposed 40-something-year-old friend is kind of a hipster, and that's why he's got like the gray thing going on. But I don't know, Rob. Like a lot of people ask me the same thing. Like, you're my boy.
How dare you?
And, I'm the same age as Paul, and you're.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might be the same age as that guy, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, you're my good pal, Rob. So I don't think there's an issue with Paul being friends with the old bearded guy.
Paul, I need you to come back with me. Whoa. What do you mean? Your boy has to go to school. I don't have time to go. I know we have friendship, but your boy needs to go to school. I don't have time to go on an adventure with some old scientist that's trying to get me to go. No.
I have figured out what's going on with Paul. He doesn't understand how to put a punctuation mark in a sentence. It's just like it's a complete run-on sentence the way he talks.
Yes.
That's what he's doing the entire time.
And it's in all caps as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Right.
All right. Lawson says, what exactly is James thinking about when he says he's always had days back since way back in season 17?
Lies. Lies and deception, that was. You didn't have days back when you go blabbed to Paul and Polly about the fact that Devon was wanting to get out the couples. Like, what is he talking about here? He has selective memory, just like he did last season, and I predict he's going to finish in the exact same place.
What about in BB17, though?
What?
Did he have days back in BB17?
Oh, well, no, he didn't have it there either, obviously. He was one of the people that voted her out. Everyone voted Devon out, I think. I think she had like 2 votes in favor and everyone else was against her.
Okay, let's take another question from Crystal, who says, who would be the most interesting option to get this week's care package? Now, Jordan, I have predicted, I believe it will be James who gets to knock out the 2 votes. Do you think that is going to be somebody who will do something with it?
Probably not. I mean, if we're depending on, I get what the hell?
Well, remember, as Taryn correctly pointed out, I mean, unless it's a 4-3 vote, this advantage isn't going to do anything. Just like it did last season, it's not going to do anything. I mean, it sounds like a lot. Oh, you get to knock out 2 votes. I think the more interesting thing is if the person who gets the advantage isn't on the block or isn't evicted. If they have to publicly name the 2 people who don't get to vote, that might show somebody's cards a little bit if they're not thinking correctly. So be on the lookout for that.
The scene on Sunday night's episode where it's like, oh, parachute falls from the sky, and it opens it up, and it's like, okay, James, you got a care package. Like, you're damn right. Yeah, America's player. All right, James, you get to knock out 2 votes. So, James, what 2 votes are you going to knock out for this week's vote? Devon and Frank. No, you gotta pick in the house. What 2 votes are you knocking out? What? Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. He'll probably end up on the block because of it. Johnny De Silveira says, who in their right mind would buy that BS Paul was trying to sell today in his goodbye message? And Justin says, in Paul's post-eviction message today, is that the most clever post-eviction message ever? Okay, so we have some really 2 different opinions. I think that Justin might be a cover name for Paul's friend Seth. So
I think here's the thing. I think it's better for him to own it because once she hears about it, she might be pissed, but she's got time to get over it. If you lie to her this entire time and then 3 weeks from now she finds out about the truth, she's not going to have as much time to get over the fact that her good friend Paul and a member of her team was instrumental in her ultimate demise.
Bingo.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Okay. Let's go to Kristen, who says, is Davon being legit, or is this revisionist history when she is claiming that some of the emotions were fake? Brent, is Davon trying to spin this story?
Well, I must have missed it. What did she say was fake? Her emotions as far as like the whole season goes? Or?
Yeah, that Jordan, I felt like that Davon in her interview with Julie was a little bit like, yeah, I meant to do that. I knew everything was going on, and that was...
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Davon was her inability to control her emotions. I mean, I don't buy anything that she's selling insofar as, I meant to do that, or that was for show, or anything like that. I mean, she at times had a little fun with people, especially when she was in a position of power, which she was early on, but for the most part, her emotions undid her in this game.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to another question from Wes Macon. Has Bridget given the same speech all 3 times? I think that Bridget is falsely under the impression that Frank is on the jury here. She's really just like continuing to shout out Frank how great he is. She's like, yeah, the problem for me was I made an alliance with Frank. He's awesome. Yeah.
Love you, Frank Cutie. Love you,
Frankie. Yeah. I'm gonna shine like a Frankie.
Who wants to shine bright like a Frankie?
No one.
Yeah. Let's not spend time on Bridget. Jennifer says, do you think that this is the first time that Paul's friends have ever been invited to Paul's parents' house? Well, do we assume that Paul lives with his parents, Brent?
I think that's what he said.
He does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked his mom. His mom was very cool, let's be honest. I don't know, like she was just like an old, like, I mean, not old, no, shouldn't mean she's old, but she was like a cool, like, I like Italian mom. I don't think she's Italian, but like the food they were serving looked really good.
Yeah. I do wish that his parents would have played up more the my boy is in the house. Have you seen my boy? So I think that would have been more fun. Edward Morris, Edmo says, were the trolls played by Michelle's Reddit friend? Now hold on, don't throw shade at Michelle's Reddit friend. We have no evidence that Michelle's friends are anything like Michelle. I just thought it was unfair that they built a competition around all of the hashtags Michelle started before she went in the house. She knew all of them that were coming, Jordan.
Oh, definitely. And you know what? In fairness to Reddit, I think a lot of them have turned on Michelle a little bit. So I don't know if she's got a lot of friends over there. I do feel sorry for Michelle, but
no, I think that was from before the game even started. I think that there was hey, like awesome, somebody from Reddit is on Big Brother, and then before the game even started, when people started reading about what she was posting, it was over before it started. Yeah, but hey, don't forget this about Michelle, that
I am nice to you sometimes.
Yeah, but I did think that was funny. Is hashtag you suck, is that a big thing, Jordan?
I have never seen that hashtag until tonight, so I don't know. But I live in Canada, so not everything makes it up here. So perhaps it is. Brent, have you seen that?
I'm tweeting it to you right now.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Brent with a prop. Walked right into that one. All right, so then also Grossmance, is that tweeted a lot?
No, like what's that? Like
no,
what?
But we say it though. We say it when we're talking about Big Brother. I know. I've said it a few times.
Also, Jordan, what did you think about the gremlin type internet trolls with baseball bats out there? Did you like that as part of the competition? I feel like that's very unusual.
Yeah, I don't know really what was going on with the choices here. I mean, I like the idea of getting the house guests ready for hate on social media because it's coming. It's definitely coming for all of them. But it was kind of presented in a weird way. So I don't know. I was kind of meh.
Do we think that?
Oh, sorry.
Do you think that the house guests will process this information later on tonight? And they're like, wait, it is weird that they made a competition about how much the internet hates us. I mean,
no. In the house, everybody loves everybody. They're America's favorite. James is still living out his America's favorite player dreams. Let's be honest. The whole thing with the trolls was weird. Like the trolls apparently couldn't hit them as they were on the machine or whatever it was spinning around. They could only, like, if you fell off, they were going to come beat you with their stick or something like that. So It's like a
Yeah.
mob mentality.
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
I'm gonna beat you down.
All right, BB Janie says, is there any chance of Paulie going home this week? Well, let's save that as we get to talking about who the HOH might be. But, I mean, we've talked about these scenarios all week long. It was hard to imagine the scenario where no matter who won HOH, short of maybe Devon getting the Ocho Rios and coming back into the house, that it was going to be tough to figure that out. All right, this is from ID Institute. This OH doesn't seem like it was prepared for 10 people. Could that be a clue that Bridget also doesn't have the round trip? But then I thought I saw on Twitter people were saying, like, hey, how come there's an empty swing on this?
Well, even if there is an empty swing or not, and I didn't see if there was, the producers know which person has the winning envelope because they each have a number on their envelope, so they know where the winning ticket is. So, you know, obviously the people that, I mean, they knew the way the vote was going to go tonight no matter what. So there's no way it was there's no way that you can tell who has the golden ticket by what's going on with the competition. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Jason Weatherholt says, Days Ocho Rios one-way ticket begs the question, is there another clue that we haven't noticed? I'm not sure if Jason is saying that there's a clue in this picture, but is there anything else, or are we sort of beating a dead horse trying to look for clues, Jordan?
Yeah, at this point, I kind of just think it's random. I think we are just trying to pick into everything, and, you know, anybody who tells you that there's a method to this madness is spinning a spool of lies.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, Michael GM says, besides Victor, who else should be concerned about the upcoming double eviction? Great question. So Devon really spilled the tea, Brent, when she told Victor, hey, they're coming for you in the double eviction.
Well,
is there any truth to that? Why should we believe, or Victor believe, that Devon is privy to any correct information?
Well, he shouldn't, but he might be a dumb enough player as far as Big Brother goes to actually believe it. But it's not true. Like, I can't think of anybody besides Natalie who would want to get rid of Victor in the double eviction. The people that are being talked about during the double eviction are people like Bridget, possibly Corey, like James, maybe, like anybody who is not Victor at this point has been talked about during the double eviction. Paul and Paulie have talked about keeping Victor closer to them so that he can be a meat shield for them as far as the rest of the house guests are concerned.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that Victor is a big target for anybody that might want to, like maybe James might want to take out Victor in a double eviction, but I can't imagine that's what Paulie wants to do.
No, like I said, Natalie is the only person who I think might put up Victor, but that's only because he is personally annoying her with his, like, he forgot to flush the toilet and he, like, passed gas on her, like, or James.
On her?
On James, actually. It was just, you know, it's frat boy stuff, Rob. Frat boy stuff.
Intentionally, or he was, like, sitting on James's lap?
I think intentionally, and I don't think that he was very happy about it.
Yeah, don't do that. Not good. Akul says, is there anything that could derail Paulie's game? Jordan, is there anything that you can think of?
I think he's fine unless he decides that he wants to volunteer to go on the block again when Paul wins HOH.
You don't like that move.
And then take a nap during the power of veto, and then have Paul win the veto and not use it on him, and then just assume that everyone's not going to vote him out.
Yeah. No, I think, to be fair, I think Paulie is fine in the short term, but like just earlier today, Zakia and Michelle were talking about the fact that, you know, nobody will put up Paul, and also Devon was involved in this conversation too. Finally, I heard them realize, you know what, Paulie's got a lot of social capital in this game. People are afraid of him. And, of course, Z immediately said, well, we may want to do that, but it's too soon to do that. I'm like, too soon? Are you waiting to be evicted to try to get him? What are you talking about too soon? He's literally running the game right now.
Yeah. Now, Jordan, for us at home in Big Brother 16, it was really obvious that Derek was the one calling all of the shots. But it almost seems like to me in Big Brother 18, it's not just obvious to the people at home that Paulie is calling the shots. It seems more obvious to the other players in the house. Do you think that is one, do you agree with that statement? And two, do you think that has a possibility to catch up with him?
I mean, potentially. You've got a lot of these big physical threats still in the house, so if for whatever reason they turned on him, but they're still with him, and the girls are just not, for whatever reason, they don't want to make a move. So I don't really have a lot of faith at this point, Rob. And you know, Paulie's got that Calafiore charm. Right. So I really don't know. Brent, like, what do you think? Like, I don't know.
They've literally, like, Paulie's done a good job of instilling fear in the rest of the house guests. Like, I think they really are afraid of him at this point, but there's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, you got one shot to play this game. Go out and make a move and try to make something happen. I think everyone's afraid of it blowing back in their face. I think they're afraid of Paulie's ability to win competitions. But they're putting, again, this is typical of Big Brother players. They're putting way too much stock in that. Like, every veto competition is different. It could be some stupid counting competition. You never know how these things are going to go.
Brett, if I'm being honest, I got to say that everybody should be afraid of me because I put myself on the block, and then I got the veto, and I took myself down, and I know I could beat Mish or Z or anybody in a comp, so they should be afraid. I'm the comp beast.
Yeah, and he does talk derisively about some of the house guests, like, you know, Natalie and Zakiya, like they can't win squat, and, you know, that's pretty typical of Paulie.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Miles and Miles Away. So do you think that Nicole will win this competition? Because if you remember, this was virtually the same competition that she played to get back in the house in BB16. That is not what I recall now. You're getting that confused with what Johnny Mac won in BB17. Nicole won a shuffleboard that she barely edged out Jocasta. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It was like, oh my God, is Jocasta coming back? That would be like if Victor came back.
Right, and I'm telling you guys that we saw this competition last season, and it was a quote-unquote endurance competition. It was over in like 10 minutes. They did make some changes this year. It's basically the same, but it's a lot slower, and it doesn't seem like the spinning is as much. So it's still ongoing at this point. It's actually pretty amazing. Good for them.
Okay. All right, good for them. All right, Jameer says, since Paulie plotted her demise in Blindside, is it possible that Davon could sway the jury against him? All right, let's talk about Davon, the juror. Jordan, do you feel like that Davon as what's her title?
Head of jury household is the term.
Head of jury household. Okay, do you think that she could potentially be poisoning the jury against any players?
As somebody who's been in that position before, nobody really gives a crap what you think if you're the first person in the jury because you're so far removed from the game. So, you know, I think Davon, I mean, normally it would be that the people that are continuing to get voted out closer and closer to the end could influence the HOJH in what they are thinking, but, you know, Davon is a pretty, you know, she's got strong opinions. I don't really think she's going to be swayed too much.
Yeah, and she doesn't even really know how big of a deal Paulie had in her demise. So I mean, like, at this point, there's nothing for her to be mad about. And even when people tell her later on down the line, he's also going to be one of many, many other people who, you know, had a hand in her demise. So, if anything, at this point, I think that Davon would be more inclined to vote in favor of Paulie instead of people like Nicole or Bridget or people that she hates, you know?
Okay. All right, let's go to Harry Hannigan. How do you rank Victor's game? What game? What game is Victor playing?
I give him an I for incomplete. Like, there's nothing going on in this game. He's done an effective job at, you know, trusting the one person who he could trust, which is Paul, the one person who voted to keep him during, I think, was like week 3 or week 2. Boy, I mean, you know, there's nothing there. He's not directing any of the game dynamics. He's just a number for the people who are directing the game dynamics, and that's not very fun to watch.
But Jordan, doesn't he look great in pigtails?
It is a good look. I like it. Right. I like it. I mean, if Vic wants to, you know, get some of those, I know I was watching the feeds the other night, and he was talking about his Instagram followers. If he wants to get that up, I think the pigtails is the move.
Yeah. This is from my buddy on Twitter, my boy, at 1am Tony, wants to know, will Day be good on Survivor? I talked about this with Frank when he went out. And before this, or in the early days of the live feeds, Davon would talk a lot about how she was in the mix, supposedly, for Survivor 33. And because I don't know if either she didn't fit in with the Millennials versus Gen X theme, or if Big Brother felt like, hey, we can't lose Devon to Survivor. We gotta protect her and move her into this Big Brother season, otherwise we'll lose her to Survivor. But Jordan, would that have been a better move for Devon to, instead of coming back to Big Brother, going to go play in a Survivor season? Would Devon's game translate better to the Survivor world, like I said Frank's would?
Well, I think Day's a little more like she's aggressive, right? So I think that aspect of her game would translate. But again, Survivor is really, heavy on the social game, and I don't really know if Day excels.
The answer is
at
no.
that. So no. Yeah.
She'd probably be bad on that show.
Yeah. I mean, I think she could do slightly better, but yeah, no.
Brent, I kind of think she got lucky this season.
Oh, she got way lucky. Oh my
Very
God.
lucky.
We were talking about Devon going out like week 2 or week 3. She should be. She doesn't realize it now. But knowing what I know, I am absolutely psyched that she made the jury, and that we will get to see her throughout all the jury little segments that they do, and we'll get to see her on finale night. She should not be on this jury or anywhere close.
Yeah. Jordan, this was kind of like best case scenario for Devon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think so. That's why earlier when you asked about Devon 3.0, we don't really need to see it.
Yeah. Devon, don't hit on 15. This is good.
Stay.
All right. Let's take a few more questions. Maybe this HOH competition will end before we go. Ron from Toronto wants to say, true or false, by the end of the season, Paulie will be considered one of the 10 greatest players in BB history. If I'm being honest, Jordan, matter of fact, logically, is Paulie going to be one of the 10 best players of all time type thing?
Oh, type thing. Right now, if things are going the way they are, I'm going to say yeah.
Oh, come on. Really?
But I mean, Brent, look at this. He's controlling this house.
Okay.
It's not even close.
Here's the thing.
No, Brent, hear me out, okay? I'll let you speak
right.
after. Hear me out. This is my turn to rant, okay?
Go.
Paulie is controlling this house. It's Derek-like. Nobody is coming after him. They know he's running the house, and they're still not going after him. I don't see how you can't put Paulie in the top 10 of players all time. Now, does that mean we have to like him? No. He's not an entertaining player at all. But neither was Derek. I was bored to death watching Derek's game, but Derek played a good game. Is he
And
Derek?
who ranks
No.
Derek number 1? I ranks Derek number 1 on my list
well,
of
there
players.
you go. All right.
Exactly. So I can respect that. What I'm saying is, he like Rob said about Andy and Big Brother 15, if he can close the deal. There is a big difference between playing good right now when there's 10 people left in the game and getting all the way to the end.
But Brent, that's what I'm saying. If he gets all the way to the end and he
But
wins
that's not the
this
question.
thing,
That was not the question.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that not the
that's
question?
not the question.
The question was, at the end of the season, will we be saying that Paulie is? So you're basically, you have
I think Paulie's going to win. I think he's going to win.
Okay.
He's playing the best
I don't
game.
think he will.
So,
I think people are starting to smell the coffee at this point, and I'm gonna guess final 6, final 7. We'll see.
But the way this season is going, with what these houses are doing, I have zero faith in them catching on him. Paulie's going to win this season.
Basically, the question is Paulie going to win the game? Because if he wins the game, he'll be a top 10 winner, but we're halfway. They just had the halfway party this week. Do you take Paulie or the field right now?
I take the field.
PP. PP all day.
It's P. It's not PP. P alpha. Okay. Fat Tyson Apostle says Day can only blame herself. She destroyed the Fatal 5 and the 8-pack by shading her close allies of Tiff and Frank. Why didn't she just chill? Brent, when we do the autopsy of Day's game, do we say that the wounds were self-inflicted?
Yes, they were. She has an inability to sit still. She was in such a good position in this house. If you look back to week 1, week 2, people liked Devon. They won every alliance that I heard of. I still go back. This is the thing. This is where her game ended, Rob. Remember, Paulie and Zakiya, Nicole and Corey, they came to her. We want to be in an alliance with you. You will be the 5th wheel. It'll be us 2 couples, and you, the 5 of us together, will rule this game. She told them no to their face. and laughed about the idea about being the fifth wheel between two couples, where I said that was a great position. She dismissed it out of hand. It is unfathomable to me that she had a great on a platter position presented to her, and she said no, I'll go elsewhere. So that's where her game went off the rails.
Yeah, never go full penner, okay? Like, if you get asked to go in an alliance, just say yes, please.
Can I get back to you?
And
I
then
mean,
she
it's kind
went
of
and
early
told
for that, no?
She went and told people about that alliance, and then it got back to them, and they felt betrayed. So, of course, they're going to want to target Davon.
Yeah. Let's go to Heather, who says, do you think that there will be a juror returning since there's such a low percentage of the round-trip ticket being played? Now, you don't think that there's a chance that we could have another battle back, Brent?
No, I don't. I think that first of all, let's hope that this ticket comes to fruition, because if we don't get the ticket, I think that we're not going to get a second double eviction this season, which are always very, very fun. We'll only get the one that's coming up next Thursday. So let's hope the ticket comes to fruition. Otherwise, we're probably out of luck.
So you feel like that if the ticket does not come into play, then we'll have a second double eviction?
Well, they won't have enough people to make it to 100 days. So if the ticket doesn't come up and we don't lose or we don't gain a person, then they're not going to be able to have the double eviction, a second double eviction. Yeah, okay. On down the line like they usually do. Remember, in seasons past, for instance, like Big Brother 15, we've had 2 double evictions during the season. This season, if there's no round trip ticket, we'll only get 1 because it's 100 days long.
Jordan, if we have the round trip ticket come into play, can we call Thursday's double eviction a fake double eviction?
I guess, yeah. If you want to go, yeah. If you want
no.
to, what a great twist that was.
Yeah, bad memories. Memories.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Jeff Patterson says, is Nicole now positioned as Brittany in the Brigade type alliance with PP, Vic, and Corey? And will she flip? Okay. Is she the Brittany Haynes? We've compared her to Christine. Could she be the Brittany?
I think she's still more the Christine. I mean, she's feeding all of the info to the boys. She's totally screwing over the girls. She doesn't feel any loyalty to them. And the boys are plotting her demise. Paul and Polly are actively thinking about getting Nicole put on the block to make sure that Corey stays with them. It's really boggling to me that she's feeding info to the people that are not with her at this point.
Why?
She's and they're afraid of her too, because she told them that she's not going to make the same mistake this season that she made during her season. So they think that at some point she's going to pull some big move out and target them.
Move?
So.
What
I don't know.
Like
I don't know. Target Corey. They were talking about her targeting Corey earlier. Like like that's gonna happen. Like, come on. What world are we living in here?
He's gonna target Corey with a wedding date.
Yeah, exactly. Her and Zakiya both. That girl is so desperate.
Is Zakiya still infatuated with Paulie? She still has not.
Rob, they were having. They were doing things underneath the sheets last night.
Yeah.
No, they were doing things underneath the sheets last night. She is absolutely desperate for this boy. It's crazy. He treats her like crap. He basically doesn't even really like her all that much. It's totally physical on his part. I think he enjoys having a little bit of power over her as long as she does what he wants her to do. But again, they were supposedly in a showmance and he left her out of the loop. Like, how strong is that?
Brett, girls like the bad boy. Okay?
Yeah,
so
apparently.
I'm the bad boy, I'm running the house, and if I'm being honest, that's what Z likes. Okay?
And you know what? You're right, because I guarantee you, after Polly cops to this whole thing and telling her about, we were getting out Davon, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you, she's going to go right back upstairs and sleep with him tonight. Mark it down.
Whoa. Jordan, can you believe this?
I just hate it. It sucks watching this, but... Yeah, I mean, as a guy who's not considered a bad boy, I've witnessed this firsthand in real life many times. So, yeah, it sucks, but Zakiya, I feel like she's really into Paulie, and there's really not much is going to change about that.
And one or two more questions. Let's go to Michael Germ. If Zakiya wins HOH, will she go with the house, or will she make her own noms? I think that she will do whatever Paulie tells her to do. still, right?
Yeah, I think so. Polly will probably give some sweet talk to her and hug her and kiss her and make her feel great, and she'll probably do whatever he asks of her. Like, look, that's the problem, you guys. She's on this season to find a boyfriend. Okay, she's not here to win $500,000. That's what I hate about players like this, because they won't do what's in their own self-interest. They will do what's in other people's self-interest, and that's not how the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah. Look, Brent, if she was to get with me, then she'd be with somebody worth probably like millions and millions of dollars eventually. So I am the prize this season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, good on Polly for being able to sweet talk her, and I don't know what hold he has over her, but, she's such a beautiful, strong-willed, like, absolutely gorgeous girl. I don't know why she basically debases herself for him. It's terrible. Like, well, what is she thinking?
Yeah. I mean, she is incredibly striking. Jordan,
She is. Yeah. Oh my. I don't understand why Paulie is just like acting like, oh yeah, Zakiya is like nothing. It's like, dude, Zakiya is stunning, and you're just like treating her like crap. It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
if we got into a podcast, and we shouldn't, in the Big Brother offseason, most attractive Big Brother house guest of all time, I think she's on the short list here.
She's on the short list, and not only that, the guy she's currently infatuated with has a screwed up haircut. I mean, like let's be honest. Like, what is she doing? Why can't she wake up and smell the coffee and start playing the game? She's a fan of this show. It sucks so much. Rob, I auditioned so I put in my videotape for Big Brother 19 because I'm not like her. I want her to be self-interested, play the game hard, and mean it. Instead, she's looking for a boyfriend on the show. It just drives me crazy.
Big Brother All Access. Jordan, you pumped up? Yeah. You pumped up for the BB19?
Oh, I just can't wait, Rob. After the greatness that was BB Can 4 and the greatness that is BB18, I can't imagine what's around the corner. But for real, I just want to get I want to see something different, and I think it's a cool idea and could lead to some interesting.
I'm so excited. Excited. Jordan, how would you feel if you got out of Big Brother Canada 4 and it was the finale, and then they said, and stay tuned, everybody on Global, that Big Brother Canada 5 or Big Brother Canada 4 starts tomorrow. So stay tuned.
You know what? Honestly, like for us, I would be a little bummed, but at the same time, like Big Brother 17 was 2 weeks after my season, and most people kind of just were over Big Brother Canada at that point. So I kind of get what it's like. Not 100% though.
Yeah.
No,
right.
But your season was great. Like I am
Did you watch the same show, Brent?
I lived for your season. It was wonderful. Like I was living for Sarah when she won. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
There was good times back then.
All right. One last question. Sandra Starr says, who do you think needs HOH most this week? Victor and Bridget, maybe? Who do you want to win? I mean, it's got to be either Big Mish or Zakiya are the people that need it the most.
I think like Michelle is in serious danger.
Yep.
I think Zakiya might be protected a little bit because of her relationship with Paulie, but there's not a lot there. I mean, she doesn't have very much currency left with Paulie because he left her out in the cold on this vote, and he's openly been talking about clipping her.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, okay. Hopefully that clipping doesn't go as bad as Paulie's last haircut.
Yes. Thank you.
Really, and every Thursday, it's like there's no sort of like remorse of like, oh my God, what have I done? Every Thursday, we're just going further and further into the rabbit hole.
Did you see when they showed them together next to Julie Chen? I mean, that was, I didn't realize how much they look alike until I looked at them right together like that. I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing? Like, they're basically telling the people in the house, we are working together and we're laughing at you guys in the diary room.
Yep. Not a strong move in terms of the game. We'll see if anybody is smart enough to realize what's going on. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I want to play the spoiler song. At least we'll update where we are in the HOH competition. Of course, we'll be back on tomorrow morning with the spoiler show. Just update the live feeds, and then we will talk about it all on Sunday night with Taryn Armstrong, of course. Jordan will be back on Monday with the LFC for the Big Brother Happy Hour. So let's talk spoilers. All right, short version.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
A spoiler.
warning. Protective action should be taken.
trying to buzz to give myself the see if this works, to give myself the Paul haircut. All right. So all right, here we go. Anyway, short version, Brent. Where do we stand right now?
Well, like I said, they really slowed down this HOH competition from last season, so it lasts a lot longer. It's still ongoing at this point. And Victor and Natalie are the two people who are currently left in the HOH competition. Natalie has told Victor that he's safe no matter what, but again, earlier today she was talking about putting him on the block. So I don't know how true that is, but Natalie sticks to her word. If she tells Victor and swears in front of everybody, you're safe, he's probably safe. On the other hand, Victor, I'm not quite sure what he would do. He'd probably do what Paul and Paulie tell him to do. So we're hoping for a Nat win at this point.
The Comp Beast versus Natalie. Jordan, is the season hanging in the balance tonight?
No. I mean, this, like I said at the top of the show, we can really
is
don't
an
know.
Interesting week hanging in the balance right now.
I mean, yes, but I mean, look, then, what's Natalie gonna do? I feel like Natalie's just gonna go throw up Bridget and
no, I don't think she.
Mish throws up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think she puts Bridget up.
Okay, then maybe but Vic and who? Brent. I mean, I don't know, right? Like, who else is she supposed to put up? I guess Michelle.
Here's the thing, though, that could this be an interesting week potentially, where we have Natalie HOH plus James canceling 2 votes? I think that you have a very unpredictable week, whereas the Victor HOH is Zakiya and Big Meech on the block.
Fair.
Well,
and
most likely.
And who cares what 2 votes are canceled?
Right, I know. I will say that Paul and Paulie, they're so power-ridden at this point that they have literally plotted everybody's demise in the house. Like earlier today on the feeds, they were talking. So it may not be Zakiya and Michelle. It might be like Nicole. They really want Nicole out. And Bridget, for some reason, seems to be in their back pocket at this point. They are still talking about getting rid of her. Sort of nuts. I really don't understand their strategy.
Yeah, a lot of the chat room people and Twitter were talking about how Michelle was completely throwing up shortly after this challenge began.
Right. A lot of people lasted a lot longer than last season on this challenge. Michelle was there, I think, until like final 5, and I think she was among the final. By the way, the have-nots are James, Corey, and Bridget, I want to say. So Nicole and Corey, once again, will be separated, and Corey's going to have to be a have-not, and Nicole will not be able to sleep with him, so that's good times, people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Too bad. Sorry about that. Okay.
Too bad.
Any other highlights from the challenge that we want to talk about?
No, still going. I mean, I've learned everything that I can. Like I said, Natalie has told Vic he's safe, but he's not dropping. I think he feels like he has to win this one. I think he feels like if he drops, it could be his undoing. And he's probably correct, although, like I said, the fact that Nat promised him she won't target him, apparently, that should be enough for him, because I do think she would keep her word.
Okay. All right. So we'll see. Okay. Couple other questions. Maybe if we hold on for another minute or two, we'll get the answer to this. This is from PL Mercier. Can Bridget actually win the game now? I definitely see someone taking her to the final 2. Jordan.
I mean, yeah, it's certainly possible. I don't think it'll happen, but I do think Bridget will go far in this game. And the more I think about it, Natalie putting up Bridget, probably not going to happen. I think we're looking at a scenario where it's going to be probably Zakiya and Big Meech either way.
I'm out on Bridget winning the game, and she's a nice person. I don't think she can win the game. Why?
Better jury. I mean, you never know, right? I mean, if you get to final 2, anything can happen. But yeah, unlikely, but you never know.
I mean,
Rob, it's getting serious right now because Victor's starting to speak Spanish.
Whoa!
he said, please let me win in Spanish earlier. So that he really wants this. He wants to take it home.
Okay. All right. Tim says, is there any chance of Nicole and Corey getting split up in a double eviction? Brent, you mentioned that Corey is a person who could be targeted in a double eviction. Any chance that happens?
I think that Nicole is probably the more likely target. Again, Paul and Paulie want to keep Corey close to them, and so they want to get Nicole out so that his focus will be with them. Although, frankly, I think that could be the worst thing for them because, if he's focusing on it's better for him to be focusing on Nicole, not on the game, and distracted by what's really going on in the house at this point.
Jordan, is there any chance that if Corey goes home that Nicole will self-evict?
I'm worried for Nicole if Corey goes home because
that would be great.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing TV. That would be like.
Guys,
it would be like, you know, Katniss and Peeta at the end of the end of the Hunger Games when they both are like in a, you know, anyway. Yeah, it would be entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more question. Tim says, "Is there any if we have one more, Scott? If not, then we'll do just wrap it up." Danielle says, "Will the jury members be in separate houses like the Battleback contestants?" No. They'll be in one house. That's what they do. So
I will say that it's been heads up for about like a half hour, 40 minutes at this point, which is an incredibly long time especially for this competition. So, you know, I don't know why. Like, I'd like to get into each one of their heads and figure out what they're thinking and why they won't drop and let the other one have it.
Yeah, Brett, a lot of people are saying Zakiya threw the challenge tonight. Also, reading that James threw the challenge tonight.
James threw the. Did I not say James? I thought he's definitely one of the have-nots. James threw the challenge outright, although he didn't do very good in this challenge last season either. But Zakiya, she lasted for a while. She was up for at least 45 minutes. So I don't know what they're saying that she threw it. Unless she's saying she threw it, but
okay.
You know.
All right. We'll see how it all plays out. Of course, we'll have the update on Friday morning. We do that on Facebook Live. If you want to join us and ask questions, we'll probably get that kicked off around 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll put out a tweet as well. But what you want to do is like the Rob Has a Podcast Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Rob Has a Podcast. Plus, we're going to have plenty more Sunday night as we continue our coverage of the BB, not PP18. So good stuff all on the way. Jordan, what's the hashtag tonight? HOJH?
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. So I'm down with HOJH.
Okay, HOJH. That's the way to go. Of course, you can follow Brent on Twitter. He is at OneLuckyDay. Jordan is at Jordan Parhar. Plenty of podcasts for you on the RHAP network of podcasts, including an Olympics preview with Akiva Winokur and Haley Strong. Jordan, you big Olympics guy?
More of the Winter Olympics, Rob, because I'm from the Great White North. But yeah, Olympics are interesting. I'll watch some basketball, but
no, like the swimming, like Michael Phelps is coming back.
That was entertaining. Yeah, Phelps will be fun to see again. But for that 1 year, I guess it was London, or when he won all the medals. I can't remember whatever year.
Beijing. Yeah, he won eight medals in Beijing. Yeah, there's a lot of really good swimmers this year, like the backstrokers from Cal, Jacob Pebley and Ryan Cordes also. So I'm very excited for the swimming this season.
Okay. All right. Floaters, get a life vest. That's right. That's the motto of the Olympics as well. All right. And then, of course, plenty going on post-show recaps, including Josh and Antonio being back for another week of Mr. Robot on postshowrecaps.com. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks so much to Scott St. Pierre behind the scenes. We'll talk to you later. Take care.